So it is all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? 3.3 miles, 16 turns, just the one DRS zone, but it's a long straight. We are in the middle of the desert. There is artificial grass around the track to stop sand being blown over the circuit, but they're still going to experience it if they go wide. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Piastri, Leclerc, George Russell and Sainz, Hamilton, Antonelli, Gasly and Isaac Hadjar, Pierce, Albon, Yuki Tsunoda and Alonso, Lawson, Stroll, Ollie Behrman, Gabriel Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Colapinto and Sonny Hayes completes the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We will soon find out. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. So a sprint race today, and that means lights to flag, no stops. And how is that going to affect the driver behind the wheel?
Absolutely. So for today, there's no pit stop, or shouldn't be a pit stop anyway, if things go right, and you can forget about strategy. You're just driving today as fast as you can, make those overtakes if you need to, and that's what a sprint weekend's all about.
All right, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Yeah, copy that.
All right.
That's clear.
So
We're not in the
P15.
best position to get another points finish, so try and use the first lap to your advantage and make up places.
It doesn't sort of in a little bit in unusual territory here because we've been challenging for the win. But clearly I'm being skill gapped by these AI, having turned the difficulty up, but that's how it goes. Only way to get better. Soft tire for 10 laps. Should be interesting. We did 6 laps on one earlier and ended up about 30% wear. So should be interesting. Not much more to say. Let's get into it. Oh, 5 lights. Not the greatest of getaways. Couple overtakes off the track there. Already up with our teammate on the outside. Gotta be careful of these curves. Lack of track knowledge is doing me in right now.
Okay, DRS is now available.
Gone a bit deep there. We managed to stay in Hadjar's DRS. Can't seem to get the same launch off the corner as Hadjar. A little bit of run on Isaac here. He defends. That was tough. Pinched a wheel, went wide, and now I'm kind of vulnerable to Sonoda.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
bit of understeer in the wake there. I don't know if we're close enough. We might be. Can we get Gasly to defend? Yes, we can. Can't let Kimi get away now. Oh, Kimi's gone! Kimi spun! Just on his own!
Green flag.
So we're in the points. Managed to work our way into the sprint points. Kimi folded under zero pressure there. Problem is, we're now 1.8 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. We do have a 12-second gap behind us now, thanks to that spin. So we're only about a 1/10.5 slower than Lewis Hamilton on that lap. I don't think we're going to challenge the front runners this weekend. Yellow flag.
Okay, clear.
All right, P8. So we take 1 point home from that. My front tires were a lot more worn than everyone else's. That's concerning. So my fronts ended up at 42%. Everyone else's is like in the mid 30s. Verstappen's the only one that's close at 38%. That's worrying.
Well, that's it for the sprint race. There is so much action still to come this weekend, qualifying, and of course, the main event, the Grand Prix.
That was interesting. So we had pretty good pace. We're clearly nowhere near the front runners, but be that as it may, the final finishing positions for the Qatar sprint, Lando Norris taking home the win, Oscar Piastri 1.5 behind him, Max Verstappen finishing off the podium, George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, and then myself finishing at the points paying positions with Pierre Gasly and whoever else it was that was in 10th.